2016 LPGA season began 42 weeks ago. After 32 events in 14 different countries, the season concludes this week in Florida at the CME Group Tour Championship. After world number 1 Lydia Ko shot the course record 62 Friday, the season-ending awards appeared to be ready for her mantle. But moving day changed that. What's at stake today? The culmination of the race to CME Globe and its $1 million bonus. Realistically, we're down to 3. For Arya Jutanagarn and Lydia Ko, a win today gives each the $1 million. For Shen Feng, she needs to finish far ahead of both. Who will be named the Rolex Player of the Year? That answer is less complicated. If Lydia Ko wins, she holds the honor for the 2nd straight season. If she doesn't, Arya Jutanagarn will cap an historic season for Thailand's first LPGA champion. The Ver Trophy, given to the player with the lowest scoring average, is down to 2 players. 2 players separated by 8 thousandths of a shot. That's right, 8 thousandths for the coveted award. And then there's the championship itself, and it's $500,000. Who will finish the season with a win here at the CME Group Tour Championship? Welcome to the culmination of the season-long race to the CME Globe. The LPGA and ESPN proudly present the final round, our coverage of the CME Group Tour Championship from Tiburon Golf Club in Naples, Florida. Let's go right out to our leader right now, and Charlie Hall on number 9.
Shot.
Shot, Charlie.
Thanks.
Tom Rinaldi alongside Gotti Pepper and our Hall of Famer Judy Rankin. And if we expected that there might be some stage fright for Charlie Hall, we have not seen it at all. How has she gotten to this part of the leaderboard? Her first outright 54-hole lead in her career, and how she's handled it. We start here, guys, at number 3 for birdie.
Well, this is following yesterday's 6-under par 66 round that was bogey-free, so lost no momentum and picked it up quickly.
Now on number 6, and these greens, Judy, have just been pure all week.
Yeah, it seems as though if you can read the greens at all, which don't seem to be terribly difficult, a putt can be easy to make.
And then for a 2nd birdie in a row here, 3rd on the front 9, and that safely finds the bottom. And Charlie Hall off to a wonderful beginning here, trying to claim her first LPGA Tour title. We see Soyeon Yu and Beatrice Riccari, 1 and 2 shots back respectively. Mo Martin hanging tough there at 5 back. Sometimes Naples resident. Jennifer Song and Inji Chun, who we don't see. Lydia Ko there, 8 under. So a lot of ground to make up for Lydia Ko. Finds herself remarkably 8 shots back. As we said, Tiburon Golf Club here in Naples, Florida's southwest Gulf Coast. And a new character, guys, which has entered into this championship, and that's the wind, gusting up to 20 miles an hour. It's almost been golf in a vacuum to this point. Not so here early in the morning.
Well, it's also a cooler wind blowing straight out of the north, and something that players have not seen all week long.
Yeah, the biggest thing we've had in the first 3 rounds is a light breeze. There has been no hint of wind. This is enough to really affect play.
Some renovations done of this golf course, shut down for an extended period of time, and we take a look at our projection to race to CME Globe, and it's fairly complicated. We'll get to that in just 1 second as we see Arya Jutanagarn on top, Lydia Ko, Shen Feng, Brooke Henderson, but there is a lot still to be determined here today. No doubt about that. Said Beatrice Riccari, who's playing very well, 4 under. We go to 12 right now. Her tee shot.
171 yards playing into that north wind. Those 2 palm trees do come into play if there's an errant shot out to the right.
I would never correct you, but pine trees.
I'm sorry, pine trees. I'm not an arborist.
But safely on. And be a putt back down the surface. Again, these surfaces have just been so pure. Tom Rinaldi alongside Dottie Pepper and Judy Rankin, our Hall of Famer. We mentioned that things could be complicated when we talk about the race to CME Globe. Zach Jones, our researcher and a gift to any broadcast booth, our Stanford graduate, took a break from mapping the human genome to figure this out. Take a look at all of the projections, and with our apologies in advance to the disappearing Dottie Pepper as we hold this up. Dottie, a good look for you right now.
This is my best on camera ever.
These are all of the projections that Zach has worked out as to what could happen in that race to CME Globe, which is absolutely remarkable. It seemed to be straightforward and a simple matter if it were up to Aria and Lydia. But as we've seen the way this has started, at least so far, Judy, it hasn't worked out that way.
Yeah, it's very interesting that it should be this close, though. And the best way I know to describe it to people who watch golf at all is Aria Jutanugarn leads the tour this year in birdies. She leads the tour in rounds in the 60s. Lydia Ko leads the tour in scoring average. And those three factors just cannot get you any closer.
We saw that effort just slide by there for Aria. We've talked about the fact that it's not just about the race, not just about the $1 million bonus and the $500,000 check for the winner, but some other very prestigious prizes, the Vare Trophy, which is at stake, which is pretty meaningful on the big picture side of things, Dottie.
And it's meaningful on the big picture because you have had to play well all year long to be in contention for this. Now look how close they were. This was Zach Jones doing more math to get us to this point as well. There's just no opportunity to have a bad stretch of golf and win the Vare Trophy.
Yeah, when you are trying to win the Vare Trophy, you are shaving every stroke. Even if a day is not a good day, every stroke matters.
And Ko's second shot there on 10, that'll give her an opportunity for a birdie, but as we've said, a lot of ground to try to make up. She said she'd just try to keep it simple today if she could, but it seems to become a little more complex for the world number one. Let's take a look at our JDX featured group pairings, guys, to this point. In Ji Chun, as we mentioned, Lydia Ko at 8 under, and Amy Yang at 10 under, that through 9 holes.
Really interesting that NG and Lydia in that battle for the Vare Trophy. There's no watching scoreboards. Yeah, it's right there in front of you.
Exactly. Aria Jutanugarn, as we've mentioned, alongside Song and Salas. JDX featured groups.
Yeah, big day for Salas. She has not had that chance to have a win or a really good tournament this year.
That's a mistake there. Charlie Hull is actually 16 under there on the left side. That through 8, Brittany and So Yun Yu. Charlie Hull has handled any of the pressure, any of the expectation beautifully, but that doesn't necessarily surprise you, does it, Judy?
You know, if there's a player in the field who really might be able to ignore the pressure, it might be Charlie Hull.
Here's Chun at 10.
Major championship to her credit, where she set an all-time major championship scoring record back in the month of September.
So Yun Yu, Andy North alongside here at number 9. Andy.
Well, thank you, Thomas. As you shot from just under 200 yards playing downwind. One thing I think as a fan watching today, notice how firm these greens are. If any of these young ladies have shots downwind, it'll be very difficult to stop the ball. Into the wind may be even easier, even though most people think that's usually the more difficult shot. Now Hull with 158 holes tucked right behind this bunker. You almost have to go well long or out to the right.
Here's Andy, a player with a chance to stop it because the club head speed she generates.
And she can launch it way up in the air, but still watch this ball as it hits the green.
Great call.
Getting the ball close to the hole is going to be very, very difficult out here downwind.
Wow.
Boy, you diagnosed that, Andy. We went for a walk around 7:30 this morning across the back 9, and you diagnosed it perfectly. These greens, which are obviously been renovated and freshened and expanded, are firm. So the advantage is there's no grain, but there's not a lot of hold either.
And it's almost always the case with brand new green surfaces. It takes a year or two for them to get the base to really hold shots easily.
Ricari to get within 1 of the lead.
Now coming down the hill, a little right to left in this putt, chance to get to -15. She actually birdied that 9th hole, Tom. She hit an 8-iron in there about 12 feet, made the putt. So iron play has been very good today.
No stress standing over that. Just forgot to hit it. Beautiful setup.
She'll shake her head, leaving that just short. But out in 32, Billy referenced a very, very strong start here for Ricari on the way out here in 32. Here's the 6th, her 3rd shot.
Beatrice is looking for her first win on the LPGA Tour in nearly 3.5 seasons.
Certainly did not flash the form that would suggest this kind of performance here this week. Now on 9.
Yeah, 9 has played and is playing as the hardest hole on the golf course.
You're gaining more than a stroke there with a sweet birdie on number 9. Now back out to the play at 10. Chun sizing up a look. These green surfaces are, to put it mildly, large.
They are large. There is, I think, much more movement in them since they've been redone. But what there's not in them, as Judy said, there's no grain.
If grain is going to develop with all of today's new technology, it's sure not going to be there in the first year or two of new surfaces.
So as a player, when there's no grain, you start to look for where would the water drain, or would the slopes matter more than the setting sun here in Southwest Florida. That sort of gives that clue as to where the grain might be going. Slopes become much more important.
No surprise that this putt is from the right side of the hole. The hole is located just 9 feet from the left edge of the green today.
Never really had the speed there. Fades off to the left. Of course, the wire-to-wire winner with a spectacular performance at the Evian Championship, 21 under. Back to 9. Here's Yu from off the green. Andy, she's sizing it up.
Yeah, this is one of those shots you could either putt it or chip it, whatever you felt most comfortable with. She's got about 8 feet of closely mown fringe to come over. She's decided to chip the ball. And you've got to be careful in your chip shots. We talked about the firmness of the greens. You don't get that first little spin on these chip shots either, so the ball really rolls out after it hits the green.
And Andy, you frankly think that too often players reach for the wedge in this case and not often enough for the putter.
Well, it's a little bit simpler keeping the ball as close to the green as the ground as you possibly can.
So somewhere in between would maybe be a 9 or an 8-iron, Andy?
Yep, I think you'd like to get the ball rolling up there as if you'd putted it versus worrying about what the spin's going to do.
General rule of thumb is good players take too much loft. Poor players don't take enough loft.
Yeah. How did So Yeon Yu get to this point, 3 under on her round? We start here with a look at 5, the par 3 at 200 yards.
Judy, you made the comment earlier that she's done everything but win a golf tournament.
That's
this
right,
year.
and that really is the truth. This is a player who really keeps her nose to the grindstone, but enjoys the process of working.
Last win back in 2014. Here's her 3rd at 6, the par 5.
Reachable for a lot of the players. Saw so many get there in 2 yesterday, and this was really a good touch, nice touch of class there. Tap in for a 4.
And tasty, and now at 8.
You have to think it's a real opportunity hole at just 127 yards today.
The balance in that
Almost dropped straight down the cup. Here you see, but for the lone blemish there at number 3, and just 1 back. So Yeon Yu at 15 under. Now back to Charlie Hull. Andy?
And she's going to put the ball from about the same distance off the green. It's downhill. This ball could get away from her at the end. Get an idea how quick that was. That looked like it's going to be 15 feet short. That was well done.
It did, Andy. You heard the gallery encouraging it to go, go, go. Ended up a little closer than expected. Ko for birdie.
She's got 9 holes, Tom, for all that matters. What a great way to start.
There's one in there. Needs a magic act here. She can close, we know that. She's somebody who can build momentum and go low, but she has not flashed the form. Very surprising after the second round 62 not to have backed it up. Here's Ricari at 13.
Wind back into the player's face. Bunker down the left-hand side. That one moving left quick.
Got away with one.
Yeah, but
big
the
fairway, Dot.
wind in your face there at 13 really makes you choose a different line, as normally you're trying to kind of carry that big sand area on the right side.
Yeah, and remember yesterday it was just 212 yards. Most players didn't even have to think about hitting driver.
That raised a few eyebrows, the yardage
Yeah.
there a day ago at 212. As Dottie just mentioned, Charlie Hull, 1 shot clear of So-Yeon Yu and 2 shots from Beatrice Ricari. But there's a name which can cast a little bit of a shadow. Still 5 back, a lot of work to do for Ariya Jutanugarn. Mo Martin in that group at 11 under. Now back with Lydia Ko. See if she can get a little bit of momentum there off that birdie at 10. 2 over on a round. Not what we would have expected.
Ideally, you take this up the right half of the fairway, move it off the right bunker, get it to chase down. Good hole location here, cut on the front right today, just over the bunker.
Left side and in the shadows, just peeking out. Certainly have an angle. Back to So-Yeon Yu for par now on 9. It's a tester. We talk so often about how important those par saves are and those kinds of putts for what they do for a round.
You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have that opportunity to make a save come through. And that was definitely a very, very important putt for her. And for Charlie. 2 good fours.
Still a 1-shot difference right now between Hull and Yu. Cool front came in last night, a little bit cooler.
That was you coming in from Western Michigan, wasn't it?
Oh, game day in Kalamazoo. The wind chill was about 25 degrees. Back with Ricari. Billy, what does she got?
From this left-hand side, you have to come over the bunker, but it should not be an issue. Hole location 26 paces back, and Ricari with 160 yards. Actually, I think she's going to have to flight this, but as Andy said, these greens are firm. They're starting to release, and she's pulled a 6-iron. I think it's plenty of club.
That's perfect.
That's a very, very well-struck golf shot.
And does climb up that ridge and will nestle. Well done. Center of the green. Well, Beatrice Ricari.
The CME Group Tour Championship is brought to you by CME Group, where the world comes to manage risk.
Well, CME Group Cares weekend, and the LPGA and CME Group expanded the race to CME Globe. The weekend charitable program in 2016 to include various initiatives for breast cancer and veterans. For each eagle recorded on the weekend this season, CME Group has donated 1,000. That ratcheted up to 5,000 during the CME Group Tour Championship. We saw an eagle yesterday, didn't we, guys? At 288,000 to date. Wonderful initiative between the Tour and CME Group. So Yun Yu here at the tee at 10.
It's all about just picking your number and putting it down the fairway in play.
Yeah, this is not a hole you'll see a whole lot of players reach for that driver. Just no need.
It's just 320 yards on the scorecard, and it's a little shot, maybe not even a full shot.
Lydia Ko trying to keep some momentum here at 11.
She did have, as you said, Tom, that wonderful angle to that front right hole location. And able to stop it pretty well.
I was going to say, but you might think, well, why, that didn't check up, but within the context of these new green complexes, that held. Back to our leader at 10.
It's just about putting it in the fairway. That's all you need to do here. You can hit pretty much anything off this tee you want to, and you're still going to be left with a short shot.
Andy, seeing anything really change here in terms of the winds?
Yeah, it's still going to be in that 15 to 18 mile an hour range. It's just the fact that it hasn't blown at all the first 3 days, which makes it different.
Well, our next NBA Wednesday doubleheader on ESPN, Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs at the Hive to take on Kemba Walker and the Hornets, 7 Eastern. That'll be followed. We head over to New Orleans. Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins as the Pelicans in the Unibrow. Anthony Davis. Both games also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. NBA Wednesday on ESPN. Back to 13 and Ricari.
Well, after that good iron shot, able to keep it underneath the level of the hole, Dottie and Judy, and there's a ridge that bisects this hole, and the glide path is going to shift this ball a little bit right to left all the way as it approaches the hole. But I think this is a very, very makeable putt, and she's actually let the last 3 go.
Great stroke on the last hole, did not get it to the hole.
Got that one there.
Billy Kratzer, along with Beatrice Ricari's group. Ricari now just 1 back. Billy, you diagnosed that one perfectly in terms of the purity of that roll and that being makeable. What are the conditions like out there, Billy?
Well, as Andy's been saying, it's 15 to 18 mile per hour with the wind. So with the wind conditions, I think the fairways are relatively easy to hit. It's all about the iron play today, Tom. And I think if you can hit it in the proper section like we just saw Ricari do, then you're going to have birdie putts available to you. So I think the iron play today is the most important component that these players need to score well. Andy?
Well, Billy, and combined with the iron play, you've got to figure out exactly where you want to try to land the ball in these greens. In the back 9, there's 2 or 3 hole locations that are cut just over bunkers, so it's going to be absolutely impossible to get the ball close to the hole. There you have to be smart enough, just hit it up. Maybe it goes 30 feet past the hole. There's some other back hole locations that usually are very difficult to get to, that because of the firmness, you're going to get there today.
Andy, you talked about it. There's a handful of tough pins, but some other very, very makeable birdie holes on the back. The front being the tougher side.
And just about a shot and a half tougher.
Right.
So this is a green light second 9 to play for sure.
Just a bit far for the gap, yeah.
Like half pitch or what?
It'll have to be straight down for the gap. Yeah, half pitch. Let's see.
It's not 3/4, is it?
I like half.
Yeah, that geezer right at the pin.
Yeah, I was going to say between the flag and that tower right on it.
Guys, could you just move that way a little bit? Thanks.
Yeah, helping you 5 to 4 o'clock.
So 125, she probably wants to carry this about 115, wind from right to left and helping just a bit.
Green is pitched toward the players.
Conversation there between Hull and her caddy Adam Woodward, trying to guide her. That's pretty good guidance.
No guidance needed from there either. What a great shot.
Perfect shot. I'll take a little bit of a closer look here at Charlie Hull, seeking her first LPGA win, 9 top 10s, first outright 54-hole lead on the PGA Tour. And again, if we're looking for signs of wobbling or signs of nerves, we just have not seen it, Judy.
Not yet. And here we watch Mo Martin.
13.
This gives all those players who are not long in length great hope, because she is the shortest in the field and very much part of the picture.
Yeah, but she has the Women's British Open to her credit, and she was second at the Women's British Open to Ariya Jutanugarn, maybe as long a hitter as there is on the LPGA Tour just this past year.
And a good season for Mo Martin.
You bet. She is playing some golf, and it's really something to admire.
Back to So-Yeon Yu.
Yeah, 87 yards. Great birdie opportunity.
Again, that ball you see snug tight to the pin is Charlie Hull. A little bit of internal trio pressure there. Back to Ko. Needs to make things happen.
Should want to sneak just to the right at the end. And that opens birdie to start the second nine.
As we've talked about, Dottie, somebody who understands momentum. Birdie to start. Has a lot of ground to make up. Boy, that double at 9. How much did that hurt? She's shaking that off quickly. All chasing Charlie Hull, our leader by a single stroke. And Beatrice Riccari. Can she hold on her first LPGA Tour win? Charlie Hull. We'll be back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back here to Tiburon on the final round, CME Group Tour Championship. Charlie Hull tapped in for her birdie to get to 17 under. Here's Yu trying to keep pace. Dead center cut, and that looked very steady.
She's done a decent amount of work with Ian Baker Finch on her putting. And the big thing is she's telling herself she's a good putter, and he's telling her when she gets on the putting surface, you act like you own it.
12 and Lydia Ko. Back center hole location on this par 3. Lands in the center. Trundles just above and begins to curl back. A little bit of a downhill look. Go to 3 in a row here for Ko and try to mount a charge.
If she could run the tables on the back 9, there are so many things that could happen for her to be Player of the Year, to win a 3rd CME race to the Globe, and potentially the Vare Trophy. 3 more points to the Hall of Fame.
He's definitely going to need some help. 7 back right now.
Completely different hole today. Most of the players were hitting 5 and 6 irons in here over the first 3 days of the event. Now, a lot more in their hands, Judy.
Yeah, the wind changes the golf course so dramatically and so easily, and you really kind of plan on the wind when you play in Florida. There is usually some degree of bother with the wind, but not much early this week.
Take a look at the LPGA Rookie of the Year here. In-Gee Chun, a remarkable that she set the major championship scoring record, as we mentioned, 2nd in scoring average, and she has had some company with players who have really had low averages this year. She wrapped up the Rookie of the Year award long ago this season, and a beautiful night Thursday night, guys, the Rolex Awards celebration, where she received her hardware. Screen right, there's someone familiar with hardware. Probably has a couple of storage facility spots to keep all the hardware.
That could be. Beatrice Riccari.
Yeah, just a touch of a downhill lie. Certainly want to keep it a little further to the left, and she just caught it dead thin, and that's in the water.
Oh boy.
That was a product of the lie, I believe.
What a huge mistake, because you can't get to this green in 2 anyway. Why not just give yourself some loft and make it easy?
And a lot written across Beatrice Riccari's face right there. An inexplicable error when in a good position, both in the fairway and on the leaderboard. You can wonder what's going on there in Beatrice's mind. Back to you on the tee here at 11.
Well, she has driven the ball unbelievably this week. Missed one fairways at the first 54 holes, and if the fairways were 15 yards wide, she'd hit just as many. She really can drive it straight.
Tied for 62nd here last year. That was her worst finish of the season. Take a look, 3 wins on the LPGA Tour, but seeking the first since 2014. 17 top 5 since the last win. So she's been knocking on the door, and this is a big door to try to walk through today. And the leader, Charlie Hull, coming off a birdie at 10.
She has so much confidence right now. I love the way she plays. She makes up her mind, gets up and hits it. Not a lot of messing around. I think that really bodes well when you're under the heat of a Sunday afternoon.
Gives that little quick pickup. You know it's where she wants it to be. Center cut. Riccari trying to recover, Billy.
Well, she's taking a drop, so now hitting her 4th and actually moved up just short at the bunker. But just like the ladies in the booth said, why not take a little more loft and make sure you get it over the water? And that's exactly what she's done. So now just trying to do a little damage control and make no more than 6.
It does send a little shock through your body when you hit a shot like that when you're right in the middle of a golf tournament in contention.
You know, Dottie, you read my mind. What is the mental tax on playing so well and seemingly out of nowhere hitting a shot that poor? And then you can tend to get quick. And
the world starts moving very quickly.
Stacey Lewis here for par at 18. Walked after it nearly as soon as she hit it.
Yeah, she won't be sad to see this season on the greens, and for sure. The numbers aren't really as poor as I feel like I've watched her putt. She has had so many opportunities that have just slipped by on the greens, and it's very frustrating. And fortunately, her personal life is really happy, so she'll get over it, and she'll be back next year.
Certainly not the only American player to struggle on the greens this year. Charlie Hull, a single stroke lead over So Yeon Yu here the final round in Naples.
And just keep gonna trust myself, that I just keep gonna pep talk myself to, I'm a great putter, I'm a great player, I can do this, I can handle this, then just try to be positive out there, then hopefully I'm the one gonna hold the trophy.
I think the key for me is just really want to have fun on the course, because I know when I can have fun and be happy on the course, I can have the best performance on the course.
I don't really have a game plan. I just hit it, find it, hit it again, just like any other day. And just try and stay focused, because I struggle staying focused in everything I do, from school to anything. So my main focus is concentrating and eating every 2 holes, and focus on that, my game comes together.
If you could see the knowing looks in response to Charlie Hull. Hit it, find it, hit it again.
Love it.
Lydia Ko trying for 3rd birdie in a row here.
Good looking stroke, Judy.
It is, and she finds it. There's the scoring average race right now. Look how tight that is. We'll enlist Zach Jones to break that down in a minute. 3rd time this week, Ko has a 3 birdie streak. Billy, back to Riccari.
Yeah, her 5th here at par 5, Tom, just inside 100 yards, 96 yards. And that is a pretty good looking shot from here.
Got her right side through quickly. Controlled the flight beautifully. But that's for a 6.
Beatrice was 8 under, 8 birdies over her last 25 since making double bogey at the 6th yesterday. Thus, Dottie saying there would be some shock to the system. You can see why. Take a quick look at where we stand here on the leaderboard. Again, Charlie Hull, a single shot clear of you. Riccari, most likely giving one back. Mo Martin hanging tight, and things are, if you could see the hand gestures from Dottie, tightening up a little bit.
Well, there's tightening at the bottom, but with Ricari likely to make at least 6 there, you're going to get some separation between the first 2 players on the leaderboard.
See Inji Chun, Minji Lee, Suzanne Pedersen, 1 hole to go. Christy Kerr, defending champion from last year at 7 under, 2 holes left. Here's Brittany Lincecum, her second at 11.
That was from 151 yards and a pretty good shot. And that's the kind of shot you need to play here. You got to take that bunker out of play. Bunker just 5 steps from this whole location.
Yeah, tricky pin placement there. And now you.
147, another beautiful drive, and she just drives the ball so well, middle of the fairway, literally every single hole. Just have to make sure that there's a little bit more wind up above the top of the trees, and the players can feel the flag basically isn't moving right now.
That from somebody who's what, 6'5"?
She's played a beautiful cut in here. What a
Great
shot. Able to spin the ball. This is one of the few holes back into the wind it'll help you stop the ball more quickly.
Lydia Ko trying to keep that momentum building after 3 birdies in a row at 13.
She worked hard to make a 4 here yesterday, Judy.
Bends down to pick it up, likes it immediately.
She hit a pretty good
why.
shot when this hole was made shorter yesterday, but it went bounding over the green and just in a terrible spot. She made a 4 that was kind of all world.
It was.
And now back to Charlie. Andy.
138 into the wind with an 8-iron. Plenty of club. She's hit it way up in the air.
I think that is one of the great abilities that she has. She gets the ball way up in the air really easily, but back to find it and hit it again. You know what? We smile, but we're all jealous. We'd like to play exactly that way.
The John Daly School, if you will, takes a lot of us a long time to realize that perhaps that's the simplest way to do it. We'll be back to Tiburon after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back to Tiburon. We thank the CME Group for allowing us to show you final round action with limited commercial interruption. And back to our leader, Charlie Hull, as she sizes this up for birdie, Andy.
It's just all about speed, coming down the hill a little bit. You're not even thinking about making these. These are just a 2-putt, and she did that perfectly.
Nestled up there close to about a foot. Not a lot happening quickly right now for Hull. We've talked about the fact that she may not have the resume on this side of the Atlantic, but she's a very, very impressive player. Already has played in a couple of Solheim Cups, so this will not be a stage which would necessarily ruffle her, even though it is a debut in these stakes on the LPGA Tour.
I think she will take good stuff from a win she's had on the LET, and she's also won their Order of Merit.
Ricari for bogey. And goes begging just off to the right, so she'll drop 2 back after that inexplicable second into the water. That's going to hurt. 13 under for Beatrice as she makes the long walk. Now 4 back. Back to Lydia Ko, who's making a charge here now at 13.
Go back here. 3 straight birdies and an opportunity here. Get the ball on the upper deck.
And not able to do so. You see that ridge very subtle there in the center of the green. But Ko's ball settles on the low side. Take a look back at the major champions this year. Lydia Ko, youngest in LPGA history to win 2 majors. Season opening NA Inspiration, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Brooke Henderson, her first major title. Brittany Lang in a 3-hole playoff at the U.S. Women's Open against Anna Nordquist. Well, it's been Ariya Jutanugarn in so many ways, the first Thai player to win a major, and Inji Chun sets the major scoring record at 21 under. Evian Championship. And speaking of major champions, here's Brittany Lincecum.
Really got off to a horrible start today, but 3 bogeys their first 5 holes. She's really fought back.
Andy, you said it was a really rough warm-up for her.
She didn't hit very many solid shots, but it looks like she's sort of gotten things under control the last 5 or 6 holes. And things are going in the right direction again.
A bomb like that will certainly help. As you can see, seeking first win of the season, 1 win in the last 5 years. And this ties her best 54-hole position of this season. So much talent. It's been a little bit of a puzzle the last 5 years or so. Now you.
Pretty much the same line that Lincecum was on.
Missing to the left.
Yeah, just not a great putt right there.
So Yu drops that in for her par. 1 back for now. Well, our Week 11 Monday Night Football matchup as we go to Mexico City, Azteca Stadium. The 6-3 Texans, who sit atop the AFC South, and the 7-2 Raiders. No, not the Fighting Squirrels there. Raiders tied for first in the AFC West, coming off the bye. Carr and Amari Cooper. Our coverage begins Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's at 6, streaming live, of course, on Watch ESPN. I expect that to be a great scene in Mexico City. Here's Lydia Ko. She'll give a long look. It may take something special to keep the birdie train alive here at 13.
Yeah, it's over a little rise, a little up, a little down, but eventually has to move back from her right to left.
That little ridge you speak about is just in front of where her shadow is.
I tell you, I think everybody thought she got it back to exactly spot on when she shot 62. But there is no doubt she is still thinking to some degree about her golf swing.
Yeah, she's still playing golf swing instead of playing just golf, trying to get a little bit away from this A move, very upright, and get a little more simpler, a little more width, back to where she was a couple of years ago.
There you see, talk about a positive split there in the back nine, 12 under. So this is the right side for her to make a charge. And here is who she's chasing, Ariya Jutanugarn, for birdie.
Chasing for the Player of the Year title.
I tell you, her sister made the greatest remark about her that I've ever seen, and it would apply to so many people. She said she has started to play the golf course and quit trying to show people what she has.
Wow. A very insightful comment.
Yep.
And of course, in playing the golf course, she has done exactly the former, shown people what she has.
You're so right, Tom.
What a remarkable season here for Jutanugarn. 5 wins. The first from Thailand, the Rolex Player of the Year award, and she can win that, win the race to the CME Globe. 5 wins, remarkable. 3 in a row at one stretch, as good as it gets.
Yeah, and think about that. Those wins didn't start coming until May. And then they came in a big old flurry.
They did. And you take a look here at the constantly shifting equations of the projected standings. 500 points separating Jutanugarn and Ko right now. They've separated themselves. It's between the two of them, as they can keep an eye on one another as to see who will win that race, that $1 million bonus. And here's Mo Martin. A portrait in why length is not necessarily tied to scoring.
Well, 169 yards, maybe just a touch of a hanging line, but I think this is a lot of club right here. This hybrid, this is that 5 hybrid. I think it's a lot of club.
She did not grip down at all either, Billy.
Oh, and then she says sit.
Tough. Great shot, Mo.
Wow.
Boy, she is so effective with those clubs and can hit them the perfect distance.
Well, she also kind of chases down into it, so it has more of an impact of a longer iron rather than a wood. Not so sweeping.
And Ji Chun for birdie at 13. The hole got in the way. Sheepish smile, but she'll make a pleasant walk to pick it up.
Will the Vare Trophy get in the way? Who knows?
Talk about everything she's done. Don't forget that a U.S. Open win is what brought her to this country and to the LPGA Tour.
Look at that. Look, it's getting even tighter in the scoring averages right now. Great sportsmanship between the two of them right there. Is a fist pump to Lydia Ko. A little bit of an excuse me birdie there.
That is the one blemish, not a blemish, just a void on Lydia's resume. She has not won there yet.
Lincecum at 12.
6-iron, hooking it, be over toward the left edge of the screen.
Yeah, boy, she aimed right, which just encourages that is her weak side.
You don't see her hit too many cuts.
Long, long look at birdie from deep left. You.
That was a 5-iron trying to take it in the middle of the green and cut it a little bit.
And such a good
Beautiful
job.
looking shot.
Yeah, Andy getting on the left side of the tee box to set the angle before you even hit the shot.
And then she had that kind of hold it through swing where she didn't let it freely turn over.
Almost like that stinger sort of swing there, and gets a nice result. And now the leader, Paul.
Hole's playing 171. Tons of room short of the hole, so you can land it in the middle part of the green, let it release. Probably want to carry it 155 or so. She has a 6-iron.
Settle down a bit. This is the right putter.
Andy, have you seen her watching leaderboards or anything like that?
Yeah, she's just playing golf, and that's what I think is really neat. She doesn't seem too concerned about anything other than just hitting the next shot. That's a beautiful way to play this game.
It's still the right putter. You can almost pitch it all the way back.
This is the first shot today that she hasn't hit within about 8 seconds.
Giving it a little bit of a lean, but a nicely struck ball. And she'll have a good look at birdie.
Won't surprise you to hear that she plays quite a little bit of golf at her home course, Woburn, with Ian Poulter. And she plays with a bunch of her pals, as she calls them, from the very back tees. So, you know, maybe that comes out here and makes you feel like king of the world, queen of the world, whatever that is.
First look at Brittany Lang.
Yeah,
her second shot at the 15th.
A little bit of a tough day. Tom made a double bogey back at the 9th, and then followed that with a bogey at the par 3 12th, and just really hasn't gotten it going too much today, but that from 150 yards, and that's pretty nifty.
I'll say. Nestles up in tight, inside 4 feet. Good looking shot for Brittany. Players have had to figure out landing the ball a little bit short, letting it trundle up there with these new green complexes. Beautiful day here at Tiburon as we come back to the CME Group Tour Championship final round. Welcome back. Tonight, tune into Sports Center at night with Bucci Gras and Stan Verrett. They'll have all the college basketball, NBA, and NHL highlights, as well as the rest of the day in sports. Boomer down in Mexico City, so Herm will be alongside Stan. NFL highlights and analysis. Sports Center at night. ESPN streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN, of course. Beautiful look here at the renovated layout here at Tiburon. Spanish for shark, the architect, Greg Norman. And Lincecum with a long, long look across a typically large green complex. These greens have been so pure, guys. It puts a premium on the read because you know the roll is going to be right.
Well, Tom, this one is a tough read. It's going to go from left to right, about halfway to the hole. It goes back down the hill. This is going to be pretty quick the last 10 or 15 feet.
I think one of the challenges the players have had this week is sort of wiping their mind of what they remembered from playing here in past years. Not only the grain, but the shape of a lot of these putts is not the same. There's more tilt, more slope in a lot of different sections of the greens.
In regard to Brittany Lincecum and the kind of player she is, she's an enormously talented player, and she's got a little bit of that Charlie Hull spirit in her. She goes out and plays golf. She just doesn't have quite the bravado.
Lydia Ko here at 14. Left side here, found a little bit of trouble on the pine straw.
This was the miss we saw her yesterday. It was just a plain old pull to the left.
That little top bit where you can see the tree.
The pine tree?
Yeah,
the tall one?
The branches.
Okay.
There's a risk for the coaches, the teachers, the parents, the whomever, with someone like Lydia, of overdoing it because she is so very teachable.
Gary Matthews, her caddy, giving her some advice.
Here to start up the left. Does it have enough space? Just fine.
Sounded like a clean strike. Just to trundle back down into the fairway there, up that left side, as Dottie said. Here's you for birdie.
Putt should slide to her right a little bit the last 5 or 6 feet.
Great speed again.
She has sure changed her attitude on the greens. So much more confident than she was even a year ago.
With a little tap in for her par.
It's amazing if you believe you can make them, they actually go in once in a while.
Isn't that true? And Mo Martin for birdie at 15.
Well, coming down the hill, shouldn't do a whole lot.
This is one of the greens that is so much bigger than it used to be.
Seeing a few more of these putts, Billy, die off now and not get to the hole.
Yeah, a little more speed, and I think she makes that one. But I think being cautious with that being just slightly downhill, Tom, was the reason that was the miss on the right.
Right. Mo remains 4 back of Charlie Hull. Speaking of.
And this is definitely makeable. There's a little bit of ridge on the right edge of the screen. Should hold it straight early on.
Plenty of speed. That's that sort of ideal miss, though. It gave it a chance. It stops a foot 18 inches beyond. No stress, or at least there shouldn't be coming back.
Beatrice Riccari for birdie here at 15.
Yeah, a chance to bounce back after that double bogey. Well, that's being tough right there, Judy and Dottie.
I tell you, that really helps your psyche because you are still kicking yourself for such a crazy mistake.
Charlie taps in. One of my favorite stats in all of sport, any sport, is bogey birdie percentage. I just think it says so much about the way you should try to lead your life, not just on the golf course, but off of it.
The bounce back.
Yep. Suzanne Petterson here at 18. This for birdie to get to double digits.
You're going to see a lot of putts from this area later in the day playing downwind at the 18th. It's almost impossible to leave it short of the hole.
That whole location surprise you today? Up that close, that much to the front?
It's in the general quadrant where we've seen it on Sundays prior, but I think a little closer to the front.
You know, I actually think they do the really tough one in the 3rd round, and I think this really suits all the grandstands and all the fans because it's very visible, and you know, maybe even you get a little extra chance at a birdie.
Got it. That tough hole location Judy talked about off to the left, typically on Saturdays, tucked behind. Lydia Ko now sizing things up. Ko 6 back.
She's definitely had to do a little more work with the caddy change a few weeks ago than she was used to with Jason Hamilton on the bag for 2 years.
Sometimes, though, I don't think that's a bad thing. You gotta take ownership of that yardage book and do your math.
I mean, I think you should be involved. I think you're right, Dottie.
Well, we can show you all kinds of statistics and what's at stake and any numbers, but the number that always has to follow Lydia Ko's name is 19. 19 years old. And if there has been a lot projected and expected of Lydia Ko, she has handled all of it with uncommon grace and excellence in performance.
And I would say a little humor, too.
All right.
She really has.
Do you think full 9 will get there?
Yeah, yes, but it needs to be a little flight.
Down between Auckland and Orlando. I'm talking to Gary Matthews a little bit.
And quite a tribute to her that there will be a tournament in Wellington next year.
Great point.
I've got a tournament that she really spearheaded bringing to her home country, and she's not 20 yet.
With a huge purse.
Yes.
A huge purse.
It's
really built around Lydia Ko.
Great addition. tempo.
She's talking to it, asking for it to get right.
This is where I say she's just not exactly on, because Lydia Ko would always put that shot, you know, somewhere within 12 feet of the hole.
Tee at 13 here, Andy North.
Howell's getting ready to hit her tee shot. The other two players are in the fairway. And this will be the third one in the fairway.
What a confident swing, Andy.
Well, I love the fact that she aims it and hits it. There's not a lot of thought into it. And because of that, she can be very free and be very aggressive.
Yeah, she has a strong lower body. She has strong legs. And if you watch those legs work when she hits a long full shot, they really do a lot of the speed work for her.
Our first look at the par 3 16th, and Beatrice Riccari, who bounced back with that birdie at 15.
Yeah, back into the wind. This is a 6-iron. Left of the flag. Pretty good looking line.
That bunker you saw in the middle, really not in play. Just there to kind of mess with your eyes.
Very nice shot there. Lands just short. Trundles up and curls back a little bit. Well, playing for a little more than a score here. The Kia hole-in-one hole. The K900 is what you're looking at. And that's the flagship of Kia. This has sort of been the drive, I believe, that Judy's been rocking all week.
She was so sad to give those keys back today.
Yeah, I was. It was lovely. Thank you, Kia.
Ariya Jutanugarn for birdie here at 13. Safely in. She starts to creep forward. 5 back right now at 12 under. And a name that can cast a shadow certainly on the leaderboard. But right now it's Charlie Hull, who is in the lead by 1 over So-Yeon Yu. We will be back after this message and some local messages here on your ABC stations.
The safest neighborhoods in Central Florida, Monday at 5.
Welcome back here to Tiburon and the CME Group Tour Championship update. The race to the CME Globe among the elements that are at stake in this final round of the season in the LPGA Tour. You see Ariya Jutanugarn currently projected to win Rolex Player of the Year. Ariya is leading in that race right now. In the Fair Trophy, Lydia Ko has the lowest scoring average by, check that out, 0.029 percentage points of a shot. Absolutely remarkable. Beatrice Riccari trying for another birdie.
Well, there's a slope coming off that side of the green, and that was a pretty good looking putt for a long time.
Just slides past there to the left. Still trying to recover from that double. A couple of holes back. Now to 14, and Lydia Ko, long look at birdie. Here at the 14th, the par 5. And will not drift left. Here's the leader, Hull, her second at 13.
108 into the wind. She needs to carry this all the way back there. This is one of those shots that will stop. Beautifully done.
And it did, Andy. Checked up perfectly. Wonderful shot there from Hull, who's not really showing any indications of nervousness here, given the stakes and the stage. Tom Rinaldi alongside Terry Duffy of CME Group. Terry, we appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
It's been a wonderful week in so many ways, but let's start out with all the different venues you could devote CME's time and attention and sponsorship to. Why this particular event?
Tom, you look at CME Group, you know, we're a 170-year-old company. It's a long time, fairly a domesticated company. And over the last 10 to 15 years, we've really branched our company out. We are now in 200 countries around the world. You know, we've taken the CME from a small member-owned organization to a $40 billion market cap company. And we wanted to be associated with somebody that has that same outlook as far as what they believe their product should be worth. So when you look at something like the LPGA, they're in, last year alone, I think they were in 15 countries in 14 states. Well, that makes sense to us as a company that's in 200 countries around the world to partner up with these women.
Not only the sponsorship, but a crucial part of it is all of the charitable work that's done through CME Group. Tell me why that's important as well.
I mean, the charitable work's just what we're all about. I mean, we're very patriotic. We very much believe in our country. So Wounded Warriors is one of our charities that we contribute to. And the other one's Bright Pink. You know, we have a very diverse employee base. On my own management team, I have 5 of the 10 management participants are female, so we believe that we need to do more for women, and not only is women's golf good, but Bright Pink for that organization made a lot of sense from our company standpoint.
Well, you're obviously not just a sponsor, but a huge fan. What do you think of what we've had shape up? And I don't think it's followed script. I think when we saw 62 go Friday, we thought maybe this could be over. It hasn't turned out that way,
I
Terry.
asked Lydia after she shot the 62, should I just drop the bag of money off of the room and save ourselves some trouble on Sunday? But obviously that didn't work.
You could have dropped that off. Right? I know a number of rooms that would have been happy to receive that, Terry. Just saying.
Anyway, we know we're coming down to the wire here, and we got Mo Martin. We got a handful of people still in here, but Charlie Hall, you know, listen, this is a fabulous young player, and to see her maybe potentially win this would be fabulous. But any of them, they're all wonderful women, and we're just thrilled to be a part of this.
Well, your sponsorship, your involvement, and maybe most importantly, Terry, your spirit and CME's spirit, its set of values, it contributes in a way that's really hard to measure, and we very, very much appreciate
Tom,
that,
I can't tell you how much I appreciate ABC and all the folks being here, being on your network. It means a lot to all of us at CME and our employees and our clients. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Terry. We appreciate it very much. Tom. We're going to see how things do wrap up. There's our defending champion, Christy Kerr. She's wrapping up. And she makes that for par. Christy Kerr came out of the final group a year ago to win the CME Group Tour Championship. And a look at So Yun Yu. Still a shot back.
She just got a great look at Brittany Lincecum's putt from the same basic area coming up over this little ridge. Lincecum came up about 4 or 5 feet short, so hopefully she is able to get a good idea of what the speed's going to be. Again, these aren't the kind of putts you expect to make here, but the greens are so good. If you get it rolling up around the hole at the right speed, sometimes they go in.
Tracking.
Boy, Tom, even when you see a close-up of these putting surfaces after the traffic, they are perfect.
There is not a blemish. That comes up just a roll short, a revolution short for the tap in and a par.
Now Charlie Hull has this really makeable putt to give herself a 2-shot lead. Got to believe this ball is just a right-edged kind of putt. She has really stroked the ball well today. She's made a couple of real key putts of this length back on the front 9. She's hitting so many quality shots. You expect her to get some more putts like this.
You almost feel, Andy, like 2 shots for Charlie Hull right now with her composure and the way she's performing. Feels a little larger than that at this point in the proceedings.
Well, there's 2 par 5s coming up, and with her length, she'll definitely get to 17 and 2 without any trouble. So this is a major, major putt for her.
Well, those par 5s were a very big part of her round of 66 yesterday. She birdied every one of them.
And just skips over that right edge. And mark that down if things tighten from here. 17, Vicari on the tee, Billy.
Well, may have to go 3-3 to have any chance at all, but this par 5 slightly downwind.
Sort of take it at that fountain you see way in the distance, Billy.
Yeah, and that's a great start line and a great finish position.
Well, Billy mentioned the 17th and a chance to get there in 2, maybe make a 3. Really changed the whole outlook of this tournament. And we're going to look at this driving area, and we picked these 2 numbers specifically because that's what Mo Martin averages, 237, and Lexi Thompson, the longest in the field, at 278.
Wow.
Not a whole lot of chance for most players to bring the hazard into play, especially with the tees up. The layup zone for all but the shortest really not in play either. But today, the hole in the back right corner, Judy, I know you like this hole location.
Well, I think it's a difficult hole location. I also think left is a difficult hole location, and this green really falls off around the edges, and it is reachable, but it is certainly not simple.
That hole location, it's really only protection. Easiest hole on the course right now, Mo Martin.
Well, if she can kind of send one down there a little bit lower trajectory, which she has actually done, she might have a chance, but we'll see. But that's a great start.
Yeah, she got it out there, and if you can't tell on your television screen, let me just remind you, she is a very diminutive player.
Billy, we want a number on that drive.
Hull and you both made their pars there, so through 13, still separated by a single shot. Things tightening up here at the final round in Naples. Our next NBA Wednesday doubleheader, I'm sure they'll be covering the court a little more quickly than our friend there covered in Moss. Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs, Kemba Walker and the Hornets, 7 Eastern. That's followed up by the T-Wolves and Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins against Unibrow, Anthony Davis. Both games on ESPN and, of course, streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
I didn't see Unibrow on that promo. That was very
If
good,
you see
Tom.
sorry about it. If you see Anthony Davis, you'll understand. Off to a great start, even though his squad's struggling a little bit. Great long look back here at the tee, and our leader, Charlie Hull at 14, the par 5.
The other two players have already hit their tee shots down the middle of the fairway. Charlie started down the right-hand side drawing it. Should be absolutely perfect, and this one is a long one. This one's way out there, but I still don't believe it's a smart play to try to rip it to this green. It's back into the wind. It's still a layup hole.
That is way, way out there. We see the Tiger Woods twirl. We see the Charlie Hull back kick. She kicks her heel up when she knows it's a good shot. One of her signatures. There's a good look at her ripping. Talk about the foot movement. Both heels off the ground.
That is a little like Laura Davies. 110% effort.
Here's Ricari at 17, Billy.
Well, 246 was the yardage she had left to cover, so I think this is a pretty smart play given the fact that you may have a little bit of a scar in your mind after topping the 3-wood back at the 14th.
Good point, Billy. Good point there.
Well, and the way this hole is designed in that ginormous bunker, if you're going to lay up, you lay way back.
There's area, and she needed that. Instead, she'll get the tap in for par.
She has the most tremendous family support. Her sister, of course, who is a player out here and a very fine player, but her mom also. And she just has everybody on her side that's in her corner.
5 back with 4 to go. Here's Mo Martin. He got it way out there.
Yeah, a little bit of a helping breeze, and she was able to scoot it out here in pretty good length. 199 to the front, 225 to the hole, but still has to play left of the flagstick.
Left edge of the...
Well, that is further left than what she wanted. And that all depends.
That needs to hang on, Billy.
What kind of line she draws. That's going to have to be a specialty shot from there.
That needs to hang on a little bit, curling back.
Got a break that it didn't find the coquina area, yes.
Way out there. My characterization, of course, relative with Mo Martin. Here's Cole from the bunker.
She has played some spectacular bunker shots this week. Does a really good job with consistent acceleration. Keeps the flex on her knees beautifully.
See those revetted faces, a new feature here after the renovation. Certainly gives it an interesting and appealing look.
Well, I mentioned some of these bunker shots that she's played. This was day 1 at the 16th, the par 3. Wow. Tremendous effort, and she went on to hold the putt to save the 3. This was the next day at the 17th, Judy.
Pretty long bunker shot and really played well. One of those that you can't count on being within 6 feet.
And this again, yesterday in the 3rd round, watch the way she kept the knee flex. That's so important, especially when you're playing a shot that's not your standard bunker shot.
Great touch from the bunkers. I want to thank the CME group again for allowing us to show you the final round action here at Tiburon with limited commercial interruption. Take a look at that sand save stat, 4 of 9. But the momentum is stalled for Ko, 6 back, and is running out of holes rapidly. There's Litzicombe in the fairway.
Back into the wind. This is not the easiest layup as it was the first 3 days. She's got to hit a really good long iron to put it down here 100 yards from the green. In a perfect world, you'd like hitting the left half of the fairway to get a little bit better angle to this back right hole location. But that's fine.
It really is a wide golf course, but the angles are so important when you start talking about the wind blowing and hole locations that are tucked in corners. It sort of lulls you into that, well, I could hit it anywhere, but you really can't.
Well, and the beauty of this golf course is it can be set up and really work for very high-level competitive golf, but it is a resort course that so many people can come here and enjoy.
Area Jutanagarn here at 15.
That driving iron does not carry a driver.
And still averages 264 yards this season on the LPGA Tour.
Well, how many players would love to have that kind of power, and that's his strategy, not to have to worry about the big stick, hit it that far, and basically know, I'm going to find fairways. Here's our leader, Hall.
She's driven it down here far enough that she really doesn't have to even come over the water for her layup. But again, we love it in the left edge of this fairway. And she's laid up about the same place the first 2 did. All 3 players are in good shape.
At good angle there, Andy, from that portion of the fairway. Don't see anything quickening right now in Charlie Hull. Not the pace, not the swing. Doesn't seem to be a lot grinding.
120.
Back to Ricari here at 17. Billy?
So I have to play 156. I have to play like a 115 shot because it's half.
Plus 20 plus 9, so 130 is the play you can play.
What do you mean 130?
Yeah. So that's 160 over there,
exactly.
Plus 9. So 125. You land is okay. 120, 22, 23 is perfect.
Okay.
Can I pop?
Perfect, yeah.
You're a little bit help as well.
Yeah.
120 is your perfect number.
Andreas is her fiance and has been with her on this journey on the LPGA Tour for a long time.
And I love it when they make my job that easy, Judy. I think the trick to get this ball close to the hole is being able to put a lot of spin on it. But as Andy has been saying pretty much all day, anytime you get that downwind shot, it is tough to put spin on it. And I think that's going to be the difficulty with this shot.
Really, she fights being too analytical. And I know you have a little more information about that today.
Well, yeah, I was trying to put a spin on it, and you can see you can't put any spin on it. But yeah, she started working with Tony Ziegler, his father, longtime player on the PGA Tour. But after Ocala, they started working together. And I asked Tony, I said, what's the strongest part of her game? And he actually said the mental part has become the strongest part since they've been working together. So totally different.
Here's Lydia Ko, must make for par. And remains 6 back. And there's the race for the scoring averages for the Vera Trophy. And it is tight.
And again, they are playing together.
Back to 14 in Lincecum, her third.
It was 104 yards back into a little bit of breeze, so she should be able to stop it. Very, very difficult hole location, right on the ridge. The easiest place to make a putt on this green is going to be pin high to the right of the hole.
Andy, again, when we went for a walk early this morning, you pointed that out. That is a difficult spot to try to get it close.
Watch out.
I mean, it is up there a bit, isn't it?
It's into, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's at, it should be pretty much straight at you.
Where do you want to miss it? Is it short or long?
Well, a little bit past the flag's okay. I mean, just, you know, with this one, if it's, you know, it comes up a bit short, it spins back down that wood a little bit. It's definitely up there, isn't it?
Unless you back foot it. It's good. Back foot it.
I know it's a fiddly one of the other ones.
Yeah, I think it is.
But let's see it landing almost, the trunk left of it, yep.
Adam Woodward's right. A little long is definitely better than a little short here.
Bite.
Calling for it to bite. And it does. Magnificent shot from Hull, Andy.
That's the first shot I've seen all week long that spun back, but she hit it way up in the air with a lot of speed into the wind. That's the only way you can stop it like that. Beautifully done.
What's that, mate?
You mentioned it, Andy. Has a certain look about her in this round. Shots like that back it up. Now you.
She's just about 90 yards. It's another length that you can spin it a little bit, going with the pitching wedge, and not quite close enough to be able to hit that gap wedge. But the nice thing, she knows she can go ahead and hit it. The wind's going to knock it down a little bit. Looks good.
Great shot.
Oh. Take that.
We talk so often about competitors that send a message to one another, but I think it fits right there. I'm not going to give you any chance to get inside me. Well, I'm going to take it anyway. Wow. Two great shots there.
Boy,
the two names atop the leaderboard.
You love to see golf like that when it really matters. I love to see the best rise to the occasion. You see the roundness of that swing, even with a wedge. And Dottie, that's what you and I know that Cameron McCormick has done for her. Instead of not much turn and a lift, it's now rounder.
And this is a commitment that has happened just in the last year, and she is all in, to the point that she moved to Dallas to be closer to where McCormick's headquarters are.
But just within the space of that time, to see the leader hit that shot and to have the composure and determination to hit a shot that good immediately after and inside her. Impressive.
That's competition. That's what you want to see happen when it matters the most.
Two terrific shots there from the names atop the leaderboard. Hull and you.
Well, Charlie had a tap in at the 10th, and So Young with a tap in there. High ball game right now.
For a moment.
So Young's battle to become a winner this year at least has resulted in $1.1 million already. Not that she is not a winner on the LPGA Tour, but this has been a little dry season for the winner's circle.
I would say a dry season that has the potential for an enormous payoff.
In a minute.
Yeah, maybe. Hull's LPGA Tour career here. We talked about all that she's accomplished elsewhere, but that's how close she's come. Knocked on the door often.
And she is only 20 years old.
And we talk so often about Co at 19. Now to 16 and Co.
Yeah, I mean, at worst it's a cross.
Almost a drive off. Judy would have had to hand it over the keys to Co. At K900 for an ace here at 16.
That was a good enough shot. It was deserving, huh?
Almost found the jar. Now here's Hull, and for the first time, Andy, under some pressure here. A must-make to hold the lead.
Well, if you're going to have a must-make, it's nice to have it from 5 feet. She's looked really solid in these putts. Left hand low, keeps the putter head very low and accelerates. Beautifully done.
Studied it a long time, too.
off what, 8-10 seconds?
Don't you love that?
Love it.
Yeah, or should I tee off first and then go?
No paralysis by analysis for Charlie Hull, for sure. Ricari.
Just off the back of the green, right at the beginning of the putt. There's a lot of tilt in this green. It'll kick it way to the right, then downhill from there.
Ooh, it's carrying some speed, Billy.
Yeah, you just can't avoid it, and yeah, it's a little iffy right there.
A beautiful day, temperature around 70 degrees, the wind lying down. We'll be back here at Tiburon after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back here to Tiburon. Our leader, Charlie Hull, tee shot at 15.
I know this shocks you, Tom, but she's just up at it, ready to rip it.
With a 3-wood, no less.
Well, it may have been a 3-wood on the bottom, but it's way out here, right down the gut, just absolutely hammered.
Ah, perfect.
Pace, direction, composure, all on display right now from Charlie Hull.
The 15th runs east and west on this golf course, and the one big thing you have to avoid is the bunker on the left. And this actually may be the green that changed the most out here. It's perched up a little bit like you would see golf in the UK, and there's a very, very large bowl to the front left portion of this. That's a collection area. Should the hole be down there, it's pretty easy and accessible, but not today. Up on the upper level, it takes a precision shot to get close.
Now Sonia Yu on the tee.
She's driven the ball so well all week long. This one is headed left. It could get to that bunker.
That is in that bunker.
Stop the presses.
Yeah, she got
That's
out.
a second fairway she's missed this week.
Yeah, out over that one just a little bit. The ball started left right off the club face.
And Mo Martin for a birdie here at 17.
Well, this one back up the hill actually hit a pretty good pitch shot from left of the green.
Use it all, but it drops, Billy.
Gets her to 14 under.
I'm telling you, when you're giving up 20, 30, and sometimes 40 yards off the tee, and you are competitive with these young players, you are really a player.
And she is a portrait of that. Here's Ko, 16. And that curves in. So gets to 12 under, but 6 back, and not going to be enough. At least to win, but there's a lot still at stake here for Lydia Ko.
Well, that 12 under gets her back to where she finished Friday.
Good point. Now area for birdie. And a bomb from Jutanagarn. Rolex Player of the Year, and that is going to help significantly. We take a look now at the different scenarios and what had to happen, guys.
Well, Lydia, it was pretty simple. You got to come in and win the golf tournament. Area had a lot more wiggle room, but that's also going to be a lot of gold in that watch, and it's going to be a lot of cash in the bank account.
Well, that'll certainly help. Ko now 17. See that drifting left right away. It skips out of that waste bunker and onto the pine straw and continues to go left. And now up at the green at 17. Beatrice Ricari for her par.
Well, she's made a bunch of them, Tom. She's been very solid with this length putt, and once again, she saves par, but she has definitely let the par 5 slide on this back 9.
Played the par 5s in 2 over par.
That double, that's difficult. Back to you now, and Andy in the bunker.
And this is the challenge. Not only is she in the bunker, there's a tree up at the end of the bunker. She needs to hit it either up over the tree or play a draw around the tree. She's aimed as if she's going to try to draw the ball some. Needs to be a real clean hit. Got it up over the corner of the bunker.
Contact sounded pretty good, Andy.
Yeah, that was really a well-played shot. Just off the back fringe. Able to salvage par from there.
Well struck from there. That is a shot, Judy, which I think it would intimidate nearly any amateur out there.
For sure, that ball just slightly below her feet, which probably is a little bit of an advantage in a fairway bunker with a full shot like that. But what a beautiful shot, and to actually make good contact and strike that ball first. There's no way around doing that in a fairway bunker. That is the absolute necessity.
And kudos to the cameraman for getting that shot.
I was just going to say, our cameramen and women out there capturing the sights and the sounds. Tip of the cap there. Beautiful shot there from the bunker. Captured and struck. But Charlie Hall, she has not made a bogey since the weekend began.
Shh, Tom, don't say that. This is from 147 to a backhole location. You've got to be a little bit careful. Yeah, that was a good play.
I know you want to keep things interesting.
I was physically grabbed, I'll have you know, in the booth. And Judy is looking at me like giving me the ultimate malocchio.
I was
Apologies for any believers and worshipers of the announcer's jinx, but Charlie Hull seems to be beyond that right now. Well struck.
It's good, Tom. You give her a lot of credit.
Or I realize how minimal my power is. We'll be back at Tiburon. Final round of the CME Group Tour Championship after this. Lydia Ko.
Well played.
First second, not much of a swing, not much of an angle, not much of anything.
She was lucky she had anything over there at all. But, you know, good job getting it back in position.
Here's you from off the green.
Yeah, sand wedge.
Go in. Go in. Go in.
Boy, she has judged these pitches so beautifully this week.
Well, Andy, the motion is so simple.
Well, that should tell somebody at home that you don't need all these other magical things you read about. Just take it back and through with a little acceleration, and it's pretty simple.
Here's Shen Feng for birdie at 18.
Got off to such a big start on Thursday and finishes. Great season for her. Won the bronze medal, couple wins.
And treats us to one of her great pairs of slacks that cheer up any day.
Broken par in 25 of her last 27 rounds. Great form and consistency. Well, buenas noches from Mexico City Monday Night Football. The 6-3 Texans and the 7-2 Raiders. Boomer, south of the border. Wow, that's a documentary in and of itself. Our coverage begins Monday Night Countdown at 6. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN.
So between Boomer and ESPN Deportes, John Sutcliffe, who do you think's having more fun down there?
I would never bet against Perodinki. Here's our leader, Charlie Hull, for birdie.
Putting in the 35 to 40 foot range, down over a little bit of a ridge. Might want to slide just a smidge right at the end. Right to left early, then back right. Right there. Go. Good speed again. Even with the Rinaldi jinx, that was really a good putt.
There's an example, Andy. I thought that ball was going to end up far shorter at the midpoint of the putt.
It did certainly look that way, but I know you're pleased to see that tap in. So we're going to let that go now.
Not for long.
Appreciate it. See that clean card at 5 under right now. Keep in mind the course record here, 17 under. That last year by Christy Kerr. Right now, Charlie Hull, one better than that.
Go right at it.
And back to Lydia Ko's travails. Her third shot.
This is something she's done so well for so many events. She's hit good short half wedges, but that's just firm. That's new golf course.
Yeah, that was just hit a really hard spot because the ball was struck too well to do that.
That was a well-struck golf shot, and welcome to a golf course that's only been open for 7 days.
A good shot that gets a bad result. Even for the best in the world, it happens at times. Now back to you.
It's in the 4-foot range, just a right center putt, inside right edge, that type of putt here. And she's been so solid all day long. Looks so confident.
Simple, but for the circumstance, Andy.
Stay one back.
And caught that right edge.
Close ones don't count, Mr.
No,
Rinaldi.
they don't. No pictures on the scorecard, as we know. Mo Martin in a divot on 18, Billy.
Yeah, second time that's happened to her on this closing 9 holes, but back at 13, she was able to make birdie. 157 yards, downwind, 7-iron.
How important to use your lower body to drive into the shot when you have a lie like that.
Yeah, it sounded like she may have caught that just a little thick, and actually not that bad.
I was going to say, Billy, not a bad position at all, right out of the divot there. And 4 shots back, tied for 3rd currently. Take a look here. The crowds have gathered around 18. And now Beatrice Riccari.
From the far right-hand side of the fairway, 148 yards. Pretty much just a stock 8-iron for Riccari. Yeah, that's to the right. That is not a good shot. That may have been a little nervy right there.
Has done her best to bounce back, Billy, from that double, which was out of nowhere given how well she was playing. And now to the par 3 16th. Take a look there at Soyeon Yu, and again the K900, the flagship for Kia. That's the reward for somebody finding the jar here, and we very nearly saw Lydia Ko find it with a wonderful shot. What a beautiful car. That's been Judy's ride all week.
I tell
she
you,
can testify.
It's a smart car, Tom, and there have been a couple of instances with things I've worked on in that car that I almost wasn't smart enough for, but I did actually get on down the road.
Off camera, Judy mentioned the fact that it just purrs at 125.
But did you get the owner's manual out, or did you just start punching buttons?
Well, I was just determined.
See that whole location just a few paces off the front. And again, putting a premium on understanding where to land your golf ball on a golf course where the green complexes are firm. We just saw that happen to Ko after hitting a good shot. Just the shot separating Ho and Yu. They have stayed tight to one another throughout this back 9.
154, playing back into a little bit of breeze. She has just a good solid 7-iron. And Thomas, you're saying if you ideally would like to land this ball right on the front edge or even maybe a bit short, it'll just hop right up there. Just another good looking shot.
He's staring at it, Andy. Oh, boy, did she follow your advice. Fantastic shot from you inside 5 feet.
She has not conceded this thing yet.
At all. Oh, now to Ko from behind the green here. She'll be disappointed with that.
When you cannot land the ball on the putting surface, the result is always unpredictable.
Now Hull.
Being told that this is an 8-iron.
She's going to have to stand on it. It's a little bit out to the right. Will it get up? All right, not a bad play.
She will be first to play when it comes to between her and Soyeon Yu.
Pressure shifting now a little bit to Hull.
She's always more comfortable when she can go after a club versus trying to dial it back.
Lydia for her par. well past.
That's just making things even more comfortable for Ariya Jutanugarn coming down the stretch.
Again, her and Jutanugarn competing for the Rolex Player of the Year. Here's Lincecum at 16.
That was an 8-iron. It's a good-looking shot if it's enough. But she should be able to putt that from just short of the green.
Comes up short.
I give you a green.
That ball that's close there again is So-Yeon Yu, who's one shot back right now with a great look at birdie here on 16.
Dottie, I never liked hole locations right on the front of the green. I thought that was the hardest place to get the ball really close to the hole.
Absolutely, and especially if you're playing downwind to a front hole location.
Yeah.
I think they're much more exacting than if you have space to chase one back.
And Beatrice Riccari, Billy, 18.
Well, I think this is the correct play, and certainly take a lot of risk out of this. It's just the judgment of how it comes through the fairway grass, and how about that? Almost made it from there.
What a beautiful stroke there, Billy. Tricky judgment.
Good for her, really good week, and to not let the double bogey that really should not have happened just fracture her and stop her momentum was pretty to watch.
And think about the building blocks when you're making some swing changes, trying to get simpler, that will be for 2017.
That would be just her second top 10 this season for Beatrice. Here's Ko, and that's for bogey. Thought there'd be a charge after the way she started this back nine. That stalled, and then ultimately just not enough. Here's Mo Martin from off the green at 18, Billy.
Well, less fairway to go through, different angle.
Oh my.
Slow down.
Were two wonderful efforts in terms of the judgment from off the green.
And it's hard to guess properly just how much friction there's going to be when you're not on the putting surface, and then the change in speed when you do get on the shorter grass.
When you have a lot of fairway grass and then just a little bit of green, that's the most difficult touch.
Here's Chun for birdie on 17.
Oh, that's a two-shot swing at 17.
And that for the Vare Trophy. You can see the current scoring averages. Look how close that is. Wow.
Last hole.
1/1000th of a percentage point.
Last hole, last shot.
Wow.
To decide it all.
Here's Lincecum from off the green with the putter. That'll drift past.
What you were talking about when you have that shot from off the edge of the green and then not much green to work with. How often do you actually practice that?
Not that often, and most of the time when you're actually putting off the green, you probably have 2 feet of fringe or so to deal with. There are certain golf courses, though, it seems more and more, that lend themselves to doing that in a practice round, to trying to use the putter off the green.
And especially here, the opportunity to do that because there's so little grain is right there in front of you. It's a great option.
My quick little lesson for that, because it helped me, is why it's a good lesson, is when you're putting from off the putting surface, just grip the putter a little bit firmer, and you get just a little bit more of a solid hit.
Andy, big moment here for Charlie Hull.
Trin slowed it down just a little bit. But we've got a par 5 coming up 17. If you remember last year, Christy Kerr eagled the 17th hole to take a one-shot lead, which led to her victory. So anything can happen yet.
Well, here's Mo Martin finishing up.
Well, there shouldn't be a lot in it, and right now tied for third with Riccari. And stays tied for third.
A wonderful performance from Mo Martin.
That's a really nice season.
Not powerful, not long, steady, consistent, but a great and game competitor.
And she's a bit of a local, as she has a home here in Naples. So that will add to $657,000.
And with that, the chasing finally pulls even. tied atop the leaderboard at 18 under now with Hull. They have pulled clear of the rest of the field, as you can see. Tied with 2 holes to play. Yu and Hull. Now Winsacombe to finish.
Not the day she was looking for, but I think another player that'll take this as a positive going into 2017. Hasn't been a great season. Got off to a nice solid start, but didn't really carry it.
Pardon me if I was presumptive in giving Charlie that 18 inches, but we're at 18 under. Hull and Yu tied with 2 holes to play.
This is last tournament of the year, and if I can win this tournament and if I can be the last champion of the year, it's gonna be awesome.
It'll be an honor to win this event, especially to end the season with a win. It'll be pretty cool. It'll be wicked.
Comments? Charlie
That's
Hull?
a great word. Wicked. And she's not even from Boston.
Charlie started playing golf because the little boy next door was swinging a golf club. His name was Ben, and I don't. Charlie might have been 5. He was 4. Anyway, she liked that swinging the golf club, and Charlie continued to play. Ben did not. And look what he created.
A wonderful opportunity here. It has been excellent golf in this final round of the CME Group Tour Championship. And for Charlie Hull, at least on the LPGA Tour, guys, first 54-hole lead outright, trying to win her first LPGA Tour event. It has been impressive, but now a different kind of test. Yu holes even, and now with 2 holes to play, she no longer has any kind of cushion or comfort of having the lead. Take a look at our pages of the leaderboard. Sorry, go ahead.
She has a little bit of an advantage because of her length. And with that hole location cut where it is, back right at 17, if she has the opportunity to go at it with a shorter club and spin the ball, she could be the player who has the opportunity to be more aggressive and make something happen.
And she for what you just said, Dottie, she may decide that she needs to really try to rip one at 17T.
Here's Ariya Jutanugarn, the second at 17. I want to thank our friends at CME Group as we see that ball trace off the back of the green for limited commercial interruption the rest of the way. Here's the race to CME Globe and the standings. There you see what was once significantly tighter now. Ariya has pulled away a bit from Lydia Ko.
And actually, after Friday, when Lydia shot 62, it was the other way around. Lydia had taken the lead going into the final 36 holes of the season.
17, the easiest hole on the golf course, Andy.
Yeah, but it all depends on the tee shot. You've got to hit it in the fairway. You need to hit it really solid. And you has done exactly like that, carrying it up here about 250 yards. It's going to take a couple of big bounces, and she'll be able to reach the screen easily, too.
Yep.
Perfect tee shot.
Tee shot made a little bit easier because they removed the bunker that used to be up the right side. Judy, that looks like the big one.
Yeah, and so, you know, if she's going to give it the rip that she would like to give it, it's going to be really interesting to see if we put this ball in the fairway.
That's the whole key. With her length, she should be about 20 yards past you if she hits a good one. Start down the right-hand side, turn a little bit left. This is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's great.
A little heel kick tells you she likes it.
Good 20 past.
Both players pressing each other right now.
Great.
And Brittany third to play in this group.
Fountain? Mm-hmm.
She definitely has the length. She's been one of the longer hitters her entire career out here. This also started down the middle, turned a little bit left. This one is going to really be hot.
Go over the angle.
And that is a bomb, and it's a little bit better angle coming in from the left portion of the fairway.
There's a good look at the 3 balls. You there, far back, Andy, as you said, a good 20 yards, if not more, shy of where Charlie Hull is.
Brett, do you have a drink?
And now to 18, the race for the Vera Trophy, very, very close. And here's Chun.
Well, right at 140 yards, Tom.
How about the angle, too, Billy?
Yeah, perfect angle. And actually not too bad. I mean, it started drifting a little bit with the wind a little bit, but good opportunity for birdie.
Billy Kratzer, tough grader. That would be official after that. Catches up, releases, beautiful shot. Here's Lydia.
All 3 of these players just kind of have driven it out here just about the same distance. And again, this one going with the wind just a little bit. And that, too, a good shot.
Lydia trying to do something she's not done yet, and that's win the Vera Trophy.
That's a short list, even though she's only 19 years old. Look at how close that is. 1/1000th of a percentage point. Well, Sports Center at night with our friends Bucci and Stan. We'll cover everything, every topic, every highlight that you want to see. And then with Boomer south of the border, it'll be Stan and Herm breaking down all the NFL highlights. Tonight at 11 o'clock Eastern. Of course, you can watch it streaming live on the Watch ESPN app. Sports Center at night. Back to 17 and Jennifer Song. This will be her 3rd shot.
She holed it from left of the green yesterday for an eagle here at 17. Oh, lots of golf ball.
Wow.
You could hear it click.
Did check up. We'll roll back a little bit. One hand flying free. You won't be pleased with that. And you can see it written across her face. Back up to 18. And that's where we find Lydia Ko and In-Ji Chun. Again, the battle for the scoring title, Vera Trophy, and with it, precious point for Hall of Fame qualification.
And Dottie and Judy, I think this is a putt that you would want, drifting just a little bit to her left, and you really don't have to worry too much about the speed.
Getting it there should not be a problem.
This race started last January. Lydia Ko has played 94 rounds of golf and 72 rounds of golf for In-Ji Chun.
When you think about the number of swings of the golf club across that number of rounds for 2 players to be separated by a margin which requires a micrometer to spot, it's pretty remarkable.
The difference in the rounds means, though, that if Chun were to make a birdie, it would really carry more weight than that birdie would have for Lydia, just because of the divisor. Well, this is the owner of what I think is one of the best technical golf swings on this tour, Amy Yang. It's just beautiful to watch her swing the golf club.
It certainly is, Dottie, and putting pretty consistent.
Good finish.
Finally won on the LPGA Tour last year, and it took a big burden off of her. She's become just so much more outgoing, and life's just a little bit easier. Trying to get that first win is tough.
Tough for your own expectations, but even those around you.
And now Chun.
Well, I think from this angle that she may have gotten a little information from the putt that she saw from Lydia Ko, and you know how much you put into this putt. I think she can go ahead and put just a little more pace into this one.
After all of those rounds, with a birdie here, Ingi wins the Vare Trophy.
I don't know that she could know exactly, but I think she knows.
She knows she did what she had to do.
And Ko to finish. What an absolutely wonderful scene there on 18. The two competitors separated by 1/1000th of a percentage point for the Vare Trophy, scoring average title for this season. And it comes down to one final birdie and dead center cut for Chun. Fantastic.
And they were back and forth the whole second 9. And think about what Lydia did too. She turned in 3 over, but made this a contest.
Reeled off 3 straight birdies on 10, 11, and 12. But you do get the feeling that Ingi does know that she has claimed the Vare.
Tom Ingi's coach was on the practice tee with her at Evian, and I was just kind of hanging around and listening, and I finally approached him and asked, you know, what they were working on, and he said, we're just working on focus. We just want her to, you know, really finish what she's doing. She's done a pretty good job since then.
Yeah.
While all of that was going on for the Vare Trophy, Arya Jutanagarn, Rolex Player of the Year candidate here. And this from the back of the green.
You talk about that focus. Arya had her putting coach, Gareth Raflewski, in this week, and this is exactly the same thing they were working on. Let's tighten up the focus before we hit a putt. So it's all about the focus.
We saw Jennifer Song's difficult 3rd shot there from the bunker. Now the way back for birdie at 17.
Good looking.
Well, that's well done. The eraser.
So, Dottie, is that kind of focus the same thing as not allowing yourself to be distracted?
I think very much so. I think you narrow it. So this is all that matters for just right now.
Well, there has to be very, very tight focus for right now. As you can see, Hull and you tied atop the leaderboard here.
Hughes going first. 225 yards. You cannot shoot at this whole location. Anything that carries over the bunker going at the whole location will go over the green. And you just take it in the middle of the green, land it on the front portion, let it just release.
Staring it down, Andy.
Oh, and that's in the bunker.
Oh, that is such a tough shot, and I don't know how close it's going to be to that revetted face.
It is so steep, and look at that ball, Judy.
Oh, my gosh.
Up against the face. Andy, as we walked around the course, you talked about the way these are raked, but it did not save that shot up against maybe the highest revetted face on the entire golf course.
That is a sideways play. Oh.
Wow.
Opening for Hull. Just a yard or two over 200. Just something solid at the middle of the green, and it is headed that way. Will it carry?
Oh!
Just.
It is absolutely perfect now. This ball is going to come off of the ridge in the back portion of the green.
It did, Andy.
It
Came off hot.
No issues, though.
Oh, it got caught up. But what a difference.
Wow, Andy, it skipped off the top of that knoll, cleared the bunker, jetted across the green.
There wasn't 5 feet in difference between those two shots.
It's kind of like what I said yesterday when Lydia Ko ended up in the fescue pampas grass, whatever that clump was. You know, you don't always have to ask for good luck, but just don't let me have any bad luck.
A great look there at what lies ahead for So Yeon Yu. Here's Brittany.
Lincecum from 198 hitting a hook in here. This ball's got a good chance of finishing left of the green.
And that goes right down the slope.
And that'll trundle into the gallery.
I tell you, So-Yeon Yu would have done something magnificent if she could figure out now how to make 5.
She's actually going to have to go backwards.
Yep.
In parallel to that face, which is going to leave her probably a 40-yard fourth shot.
Yep.
This was part of the idea for the redesign, to build up the faces of these bunkers so that there may be a real penalty for landing in the sand, where so many players are so good. And now you see
and this
the
is not the real sod revetted bunkers. This is synthetic sod. This is kind of like your everyday AstroTurf kind of turf.
It's designed to be a little more sustainable, so these revetted faces don't break down, but they are very harsh, they are very firm, and this is probably twice as high as the wall was here a year ago.
And this has a potential of being a 2-shot swing.
That's the highest little wall on the course, isn't it, Andy?
I think the one up closest to the next one up is the highest one, but there's absolutely no chance to go forward, I don't believe. She could maybe if she played a miracle shot, get it right on the very front of the green, but I think the smart play is just come out sideways.
And then, Andy, you also, if you do try to advance the ball forward, you bring in the very real possibility of hitting yourself.
Oh, yeah, well, she's looking sideways. It's really her only play. You're just going to try to hit a nice little bunker shot out and then get it up and in for par, and hopefully you're only one back going to the last hole.
What is it in inches, Andy? Is the ball just 3 or 4 inches from that face?
All she can do is just take her sand wedge and just plop it out. We see this shot so often when we're over at the Open Championship, where players become so frustrated they have to play sideways.
Not taking a huge amount of time in the decision, Andy.
Well, there's no decision. This is just get it out sideways. The key is you don't want to hit it too hard. You'd like to keep it short right there. If it stops right there, that's a good shot.
That was really well thought out.
Yep.
Great.
Sometimes you get in there a little angry and you end up hitting it down into that swale, and it's a much more difficult shot. Now let's see if she can play a great fourth and get it up and in.
What a difficult break. He mentioned it perfectly. 5 feet separating those two approach shots. This is Hughes as she comes out sideways. Great look there on Exmo with that revetted face, the synthetic face. And really, best she could hope for. Beautiful shot.
I mean, that was executed so beautifully. And she was able to control the distance equally well. So she did set herself up for a reasonable fourth.
Again, want to thank our friends at CME Group for the limited commercial interruption that's allowed us to capture just how tight this season-ending tour championship has been. Two competitors who have matched each other shot for shot. And but for 5 feet, perhaps they'd still be matched. Had a look at Brittany Lincecum's ball against the sprinkler control panel.
While we watch this drop, let me just say one more thing about So-Yeon and her caddy, Tom Watson. You get there, you see what you have to deal with, and your heart really drops. But now you have to get it all together really quickly and figure out how to manage this situation. He's a great caddy for her in that regard, and she's a really steady head.
Good thing that she did not ruminate, was decisive as quickly as she was. Andy said there was really no decision to make there, but she was extremely decisive in stepping over it, measuring it, and hitting it.
I tell you, she played a better shot from there than I thought could be played. I thought she was going to be 20 yards farther back.
Well, here she is, Andy, for the fourth.
Yes, there's a ridge about halfway. I think she's going to land it just short of the ridge and try to skate it up over the ridge, and that's downhill and very quick.
That ridge is just about where you see the tip of the shadow of a flagstick. Needs to settle. Well, Andy, you said it. It could be a 2-shot swing, and it's setting up that looking more and more likely.
Gives it a long look there. We'll have a tough one coming back. Again, for the moment, tied at 18 under. But now let's go to Billy Kratzer.
Well, thank you, Tom, and I'm here with Lydia Ko and NG Chun, and you had your own little battle, but it took a little streak on that Mac 9 birdies at 10, 11, 12 to make it very interesting.
Yeah, I had a really funky average front 9, but then, I got my putter rolling on the back 9, so it was definitely good to see some putts drop. I tried to fight it out until the end, and, NG had a really good finish, so, congratulations to NG on the Rare Trophy.
Well, congratulations on a great year, big year, 4 wins. And NG, when the putt went in for birdie on 18, did you know that you won the Rare Trophy?
No, I don't know.
You didn't?
Yeah, before. But if I make birdie, I have chance to get trophy. So it was big pressure for me. But just I tried, enjoy my last putt. Yeah, and then I saw she was great play back 9 from back 9 today. So I was so happy play with Lydia, and I learned from her a lot of good image, and yeah.
Well, the exchange at the end, the hugs, the congratulatory hugs, that was great, and that's what it's all about. But again, great season, Lydia. NG Chung, congratulations on all you've accomplished. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much. And just keep in mind, guys, birdie, birdie, birdie finish to win that scoring title for Chung. That's what you want to see.
She went out and earned it, got it done when she absolutely had to.
Back at 17, behind the green. Brittany trying to take a drop on this slope.
It ended on a little cap of some kind, and because of the slope and the difficulty of this ball rolling well over 2 club lengths, brought in an official, and just to make sure it's done properly.
Well, while that's happening, area second on 18. Oh! Beautiful shot.
Doesn't seem to be affected by all of this too much, does she?
Rolex Player of the Year in the balance, and seems to be very comfortable.
This player's year did not start like she was going to be Rolex Player of the Year. She had a really big disappointment and failure in the first major of the season, and then Inspired Golf took over.
And here, Andy, a long wait for Charlie Hull.
Yeah, she doesn't mind the wait at all. She knows that she's only hit 2 shots, and the player she's trying to beat's already hit 4. That's a real nice place to be. This is a great time to just get relax, not think about anything. And Brittany's got a shot that's not going to be real easy. Got to be really careful. The ball, it's on a pretty good slope. It could roll away, so you got to be real careful. And then pitch the ball up here on the green, and it's going to be really, really fast going back over this ridge, coming this way also.
Square instead of Brittany. Man, I don't want to take a practice.
Birdie here could give Brittany back to even par for the day, and that's at least something to take home from the day.
Well, she's only had a couple of top 10s for the season, and that building block for when the season starts again in 2 months. Oh, took that back so shut.
Andy, what you warned about came across hot and is still going.
And Charlie Hull will wait some more.
Exactly. One reason I bring it up, guys, is for a player who is not overly deliberate, is a hit it, find it, hit it again. A long wait here at this stage. Yes, in a good spot, but still probably not her preference.
But Tom, the beauty of this is that she's going to be putting the ball.
True.
If she is pitching it or doing something else, that would add some tension, but she is going to putt it, and it's a putt that's going to be fairly fast, and just kind of gets it started down the hill. It should end up around the hole. So
good point, Andy.
I'll see if Brittany can hit a good pitch and get this up and in.
Nice recovery.
Very nicely done. And up to 18 green and area Jutanagon.
From Michigan, Jennifer Song. California, Rosette Salas.
Wonderful support from this gallery, and it is official. The Rolex Player of the Year, Ariya Jutanugarn, player who started her year, I believe, with a missed cut.
Missed cut and then 75th the week after. But Judy made mention of the heartbreaking loss early in the season, and that came at the ANA when she had a 2-shot lead with 3 to play and bogeyed all 3 coming in.
After a long wait here, now Charlie Hull, as Andy mentioned, with the flat stick in her hand.
Yeah, right to left down the hill. It's all about speed.
Does such a good job, Andy, of keeping that left low hand so firm. No
Yeah, she's got
breakdown.
a little bit of work to do, but not bad. She still stayed aggressive, about 3.5 feet.
And Dottie, that left arm, so extended.
Beautiful.
More extended than anybody I remember, left hand low. That's one thing, though, that's extremely easy to repeat.
Well, it really lets the putter become an extension of your arm.
True, even though it is not anchored,
correct,
on the inside of your forearm in any way.
So essentially, all you have to do is move your shoulders, because all of that is so beautifully connected.
Now this becomes match play. You knocks this one in. That 3.5 footer will be really, really tough. See if she can make a good stroke. She's putted beautifully from this distance all day.
Oh! Great putt.
Just over that left edge. And Andy, you talked about a potential 2-shot swing.
This kind of mirrors her year. She has done everything but take it to the bank. She has really played well so many times this season.
You see the graphic there. A terrible time, 71st hole. First bogey on the back in this event this week.
You'd think this would just about put the nail in the coffin right here.
A little forward press, and that's a 4.
And the birdie for Charlie Hull, and the 2-shot swing happens on 17, the par 5. It would be a 2-shot lead with 1 to play for England's Charlie Hull. The final round of the CME Group Tour Championship. Charlie Hull in control. Good look at some of the images of this final round here at the CME Group Tour Championship. Charlie Hull, after that 2-shot swing, 2 up with 1 to play, Andy.
Downwind, just got to keep the ball out of this pot bunker down the end of the fairway. I'd be shocked if she's not hitting a 3-wood or a utility club.
Andy, I don't even think that looks like a 3-wood.
Well, then I think that's a really good play. 75-yard wide fairway. This is exactly what you dream of. Just get it in the air going down the short grass, and this should take care of business.
Yeah, take it at the left-hand chimney.
Like that?
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
Thanks.
Taking everything out of play. She's going to be left with a little bit longer second, but at this point in time, that's not that big a deal.
Charlie Hull, were ever nervous, this should be the moment.
She has worn those reflective glasses there like a poker player at the final table. So we take a look at 18.
I want Judy to take it. I'll take it. So wide open, as we said. We watched Billy Kratzer walk this fairway on Thursday morning, and it is truly 75 yards long, or wide. The fairway bunker, given the conditions and where the players are playing from today, really not that much in play. And another huge green in that very front right hole location today. Pretty tough to get to when it's straight downwind.
2 tees used here, and the shorter one today, it's playing 377 yards.
And back to the tee, So Yeon Yu, who's got to try to put That untimely bogey behind her at 17 and seeing if she can exert any pressure.
She has to hit. She has to be able to make a birdie in this hole, and to do that you need a good drive to set it up, and then ideally she'd like to stuff an iron shot to put a little bit of pressure back on.
Well, she is going with the driver.
Yeah, and this is right down the middle again. What a wonderful driver of the golf ball.
Pretty simple move.
Beautiful and distant center cut, Andy.
Yeah, part of what makes that move simple is she is pretty quiet in her lower body.
This is a little bit earlier. Up on the green, Jennifer Song.
We have seen so
And how about a finish to your season in style?
So many good bunker shots this week. She holds out for eagle at 17 yesterday and then holds out for birdie at the last today. What a finish.
And that to get solo second for the time, solo third rather, for the time being.
Former U.S. Women's Amateur Champion, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
And Area Jutanagarn is for birdie. He just misses on the left side.
Talk about simple things. What made a difference for Area this year is she began to smile before every shot, and it was a relaxing effort.
Took the tension out of her face. See her family there. Big moment for them, too.
What a spectacular season for Area from Thailand.
$15 with you to get
That white hot streak with 3 in a row as we listen to Charlie just having a chat with Brittany.
It was the first time that you sit in the chair, like if you were to get your hair cut.
Charlie still has another event to play. She's going to finish out. Yeah, she's
I
going
can't
to play
rock those
Dubai.
sunnies.
Lydia comes over and congratulates Area.
Congrats. Nice Jutanagarn hugs.
That's little sister Moria.
You should be so proud.
And behind Gary Gilchrist, who is the teacher. Area, Moria.
Should be used to her holding her.
And if you're not a fan of Lydia Ko, all you need to see is that scene right there to let you know 19 years old, comes back, congratulates her competitors.
Congratulations. I'll see you guys, I think Australia or Thailand. I'm going to Thailand next year. Perfect. Nice. Perfect. I'll give you extra guest pass.
I'll take you out.
And think about the fact that Lydia Ko comes back and gives those embraces. No player of the year, no globe, no Vare, no title.
But she's still #1 in the world.
Yes, there is that. And back to the matter at 18. And Charlie, Andy.
And she laid up maybe a little bit longer from the hole than she liked, 168, but downwind.
Right to green?
Yeah, to see it finishing on the flag. 5 o'clock helping.
Ideally, you probably want to land the ball 3 or 4 yards short of the green here. Anything that lands on the green will go a good 35 or 40 feet by. She's pull hook this one some.
That's
but
a pretty good
hit
miss,
very
Andy.
softly. Yeah, that was a nice miss. Got fortunate that it hit softly coming over that bunker, but I think she likes it now.
Haven't seen too many balls in that spot. But safely on in the center. I'll have a putt back down toward that front location as we take a look. A violent, powerful action. That's Charlie Hull.
Lincecum from 151. A little bit to the right. Right there. Okay, she's able to spin that. That was a good shot. Get the ball to stop that quickly.
That checks.
Chance to make a birdie on her last hole of the year. That's always a good idea.
Thank you. Nice to see you guys.
Thanks a lot.
Again, earn a top 10. There's more of Lydia stopping and signing for the gallery and the fans who've come out here in Naples. And So Yun Yu.
With 142 downwind, just a good solid 9-iron. She should be able to spin this ball. She needs to stuff this.
Oh, she's going to give Charlie an awfully good look.
Comes to nestle directly behind Hull's ball. And the sweetest walk there is. Fairly tension-free, 2-shot lead. Final event of the year.
2-shot lead, a free read. A pretty good deal.
Her dad, Dave, is such a big supporter. I do not believe he traveled here with her this week, but he will be watching back in England and will be ecstatic at this prospect. And then she always treats her mates, and none of her mates play golf. But I'm guessing that she treats because she's got the best job of the crew.
I'm also thinking there may be a few champagne corks popped at Woburn tonight.
Yep, for sure.
A wonderful reception for Hull. Remember, her first outright 54-hole lead in her LPGA Tour career. You realize it's a short career. She's young, but she has handled the pressure, the challenge from you, the stakes, beautifully.
Well, this is really her first full season on this tour.
And she is still traveling back and forth across the pond, so that's a little bit tougher in itself.
Well, speaking of traveling, the Texans and the Raiders on the road, both headed to Mexico City. 6-3 Texans and 7-2 Raiders. Our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Tried not to mention the Texas Tech Red Raiders for Judy's own sake, but we have to get it in.
Oh, you just sent her in the wrong direction.
Hey, we'll be back. We'll be back.
Coach Handsome at the helm. We'll see what happens.
Hope springs eternal.
My Furman Paladins weren't too good this year either, so here we are. It will get better.
Area receiving more congratulations.
You know, you see the black ribbons just one more time. Our long-time friend, Dawn Coe-Jones, was laid to rest yesterday, and so many players and friends went to that service up in Tampa. Dottie, you were a friend, I was a friend, everybody was a friend. She was a big part of the LPGA for many years.
She was. She was a great competitor. She had an unbelievable sense, her personality and her sense of humor were fantastic. And I just too soon. Didn't think the story was going to turn out this way.
No, love to her husband and son.
And now So-Yun Yu.
Well, it comes down very simple. Can she kick a field goal in from here and put the pressure on Charlie Hull? This putt's got to go in to have any chance.
And just a misread there, Andy.
Well, that was a good look. I mean, that ball went quite a bit to the left, and it looks like it should go to the right. That was a tough read, and it really helps Charlie Hull. Pretty nice position. No, you just can hit it down there any place, and a 3-putt wins you your first tournament in the United States. That's pretty neat.
England's been looking for a real star after Laura Davies, and Charlie Hull is the player that has been touted for so long, and much has come to be already in this young career, but this is a big first win.
And she plays so much like Laura. Just sort of grip it and rip it, and whatever happens, happens. I'll go chase it and hit it again.
Isn't that interesting? Long wait, and then to have another player who comes behind, really seemingly shaped from the same mold.
Yeah.
Technically, she has got a very good golf swing, too. I mean, let's not forget that. She's putted the ball beautifully. Her speed's been great. Has a lot of confidence and doesn't piddle around much. That's what I love. Just make up your mind and hit it. Don't confuse yourself.
She's got good instructors at home, and when she does settle down to decide to work, she works hard.
And has a line to work off this one.
It's just a funny ridge.
Well, she said she doesn't like to go to school. She didn't. But great speed. Great speed. Well, here's a large reason why Charlie Hall has played so well. Last year at this event, she made 8 birdies. Total. This week, 23.
3 times as many, essentially. And here's Brittany.
Brittany should get a top 10 out of this.
Exactly.
Trying to get out of the way.
Brittany's last win, of course, still that finish at the ANA in 2015.
What?
Watch out, watch out. Incoming.
You know, she got hurt in the simplest of ways back in 13. Let's not do that again.
And now, here's you. So Young Yu at 17 under with a final round 67. And certainly competed gamely. For Charlie Hall, this is all that's left for a record-setting win here at the Tour Championship. First, last, best. Charlie Hall.
Thank you. Thank you.
First time she had a 54-hole lead as a member of the LPGA, and boy, did she deliver. And delivered early, and then had to withstand quite the challenge.
And Judy, I know that's what you love to see. You love to see how competitive it was as a player had to be pushed to perform. And that was the battle between you and Hall today.
Yeah, and that's when golf really becomes an emotional experience for people, when it's a back and forth and when 2 or 3 or 4 players are playing so well. But Charlie Hall not only, faced up to a big challenge today, she did it in style. She did not make a bogey.
Didn't make a bogey all weekend.
There you go.
Charlie, you should not have.
Good job this year.
Ariya Jutanugarn receiving congratulations for being the Rolex Player of the Year.
Charlie, you should not have.
The incredible battle for the Vare Trophy between In-Ji Chun and Lydia Ko, which came down to literally the last stroke. A birdie by Chun on 18.
What are you going to do with the money? Put it away.
And a look at our leaderboard. Charlie Hall, a winner by 2 strokes. We'll have our trophy presentations next when we come back here at Tiburon.
The CME Group Tour Championship is brought to you by CME Group, where the world comes to manage risk.
Well, a look at the summary here of the CME Group Tour Championship 2016 edition. Charlie Hall, the 54-hole leader, and she wins. Didn't make a single bogey, as Dottie pointed out on the weekend. Arya Jutanagarn winning the Rolex Player of the Year and the winner of the race to the CME Globe, and In-Ji Chun in the slimmest of margins, a 72nd hole birdie, wins the Vare Trophy over Lydia Ko. There's a look at our leaderboard, but for the difficulty for you at that bogey on 17, but an excellent back nine fight between Hull and you.
It was just classic that you throw something out and there was a response, and you throw something back out and there was another response. It was just terrific golf. And again, for Charlie Hull to have been in this position for the first time and then play a bogey-free, nearly flawless round of golf, kudos to her. She just went out and got it done.
Best final round of her LPGA Tour career, authored by Hull to win. We continue to turn the pages. Christy Kerr, the defending champion, finishing at 7 under. With the American Ryan O'Toole, Jessica Korda, Allison Lee. This field that started at 68 went on down to 66 with a withdrawal and a disqualification. There's Morgan Pressel at 4 under, Kari Webb, and Stacey Lewis. Well, it was 76 today, not the finish that she wanted. We wondered what kind of drama might be in store. We thought it would be a battle between Lydia Ko and Arya Jutanagarn. Instead, it turned out that Charlie Hull got that lead and never gave it back.
She never gave it back. She was 3 under quickly on the front 9, and it was up to So Yeon Yu to make it happen, and she did.
She did.
But if it wasn't for 5 feet of a golf ball in the air, we may have been talking about exactly the opposite, that So Yeon Yu would have won this golf tournament.
Yeah, I wonder if So Yeon Yu doesn't feel a little bit snake bit this year, because she has played some really high-level, high-quality golf, and at every turn, somebody has just gotten her, or one little thing has stopped her progress. But she is one of the world-class players on this tour, and I think with that list we saw today, with In-Ji Chun, with Arya Jutanagarn, and now Charlie Hull winning, I think it's great that these new faces are becoming such a big part of this tour.
24 wins by players 23 years or younger. I mean, there's a youth movement, and then there is just a generational shift. What do you think it is about this crop of young players that comes out not only ready to compete, but ready to win?
Well, I think there's better equipment. I think there's better teaching. I think they are pushing each other, and the combination of those three is a pretty powerful motivator.
And don't forget, you can, at almost any time in the week, watch the best players in the world on television all around the world, and that helps.
Well, another young winner, and to hear more from her with our trophy presentation, we go down to Billy Kratzer.
Well,
Billy?
thank you, Tom, and it's just been a great week. Great weather. The golf has been sensational. But before we get to the trophy presentation and that big box of cash there, I want to introduce a couple of people to my right. The Executive Chairman, CEO of the CME Group, Terry Duffy, and, of course, LPGA Commissioner Mike Wan. Charlie Hull is the winner of the CME Group Tour Championship Tournament. It's a couple of tournaments within one. And to get your first win on the LPGA right here in Naples at the CME Group, I mean, it has to be pretty special. And I know Terry has a nice trophy for you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I would shake your hand, but I don't. Actually, I'll shake it. So.
Congratulations.
Well, Charlie, at the start of the day, there were 10 players within 3 shots. You got off to a quick start. You were able to hold it. But I think what was remarkable, especially with Tom and Judy and Dottie, they were remarking about how calm you were. Were you that calm out there?
Yeah, I was pretty calm. I kind of, when I'm on the golf course, I'm trying not to think about golf. And that's what I just did today. And it kind of made me not think that I'm leading the golf tournament. So it's good.
Well, congratulations. And then there was a year-long competition, and it really got down to 2 players. Basically, if they won the championship, they were going to win. And Lydia Ko, she put up a good fight, but it was Arya Jutanagarn who won the $1 million. Congratulations. That is some really good play. And Terry, that's $1 million.
$1 million for you, Ariel. On behalf of all the employees of CME Group, congratulations.
And the commissioner of the LPGA, Mike Wan, you have a little more hardware.
See how good your hands are. Both of those? Congratulations. We'll put that right.
You have a lot of pressure when you're given this situation. You know that Lydia Ko, she's going to give it her best. She shoots 62 on Friday. What was going through your mind at that point?
After she shot like 10 under, I feel like, okay, just have fun. I think she's gonna win everything. That's what I feel.
Well, it's been a remarkable year. You win 5 times. The month of May, you just dominated with your great play, and it's really nice to see players that work as hard as you two to succeed.
What's that?
No, to succeed is pretty good, because you went through a little bit of a rough period, and then all of a sudden you blossomed.
Wait, what's the question? Okay.
Just say you're really happy.
Oh, okay. Like what I feel?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I'm really happy, like especially this year, because like I have my goal to win my first tournament, and I did, and you know, like it's a huge honor for me to win the Player of the Year also.
Well, it's been a special year, and Terry, I don't know if you can do this, hold it $1 million, but I think you can. You have some people that you would like to thank.
I do. I want to thank all my team at CME Group for the amazing job they did. I want to thank all the members of the Tiburon Golf Club. I mean, what an amazing facility this turned out to be with the redo. I thank you so very much, and all the staff at the Ritz-Carlton for a great job. But I want to especially thank my friend here to the right. No, I'm not good at that. I want to thank my friend Mike Wan and all the players of the LPGA. You guys are an amazing group of people. Thank you very much.
Well, it has certainly been a great year from the LPGA's perspective, a lot of great play, and I think all the players on the LPGA Tour, they should be congratulated for the play that they displayed this year. It's been pretty special. Tom, back to you.
Billy, thank you very much. What a great scene there, greenside at the 18th with Ariya Jutanugarn and Charlie Hall. And there you take a look at the race to the CME Globe final standings. Ariya pulling away from Lydia Ko. Judy, I start with you. Your chief headline and takeaway from this 2016 LPGA Tour season, what would it be?
The youth movement isn't going away. And I have to say I am constantly amazed at the quality of golf. I hope more people see these women play in person.
You talk to that quality of golf. There were 5 players this year with scoring averages sub 70. That's remarkable. To think about Brooke Henderson playing 32 events. And players who have made this long commitment to the tour from the start to the finish in the way they performed. It was great. It was young, and it was great.
A player to look out for in 2017 that's not named Lydia Ko. What would you say, Dottie? Or Ariya Jutanugarn?
Well, I think one to keep an eye on is probably Nelly Korda, who will join her sister Jess out here.
Right.
I think it'd be really interesting to see how she plays.
Yeah, the sister acts are a lot of fun, and Moria and Ariya have treated us to a lot of things with their sister relationship, which is much like 2 girls that are twins. That's how close they are.
Well, we were certainly treated to an excellent exhibition when it mattered most between Charlie Hall and So Yeon Yu. But Charlie Hall pulls away and wins by 2 here at Tiburon in Naples. You see aerial drone footage provided by Sky Realty. We want to thank the LPGA Tour CME Group, our excellent sponsorship group, and all our men and women who brought you these great sights and sounds. From all of us here at ABC, thanks for watching.